Hi everybody, it's Carla from Casey Creates, and I am back with my Shabby Chic junk journals and notebooks. And I was telling you I'd come back and show you more details of each one. So if you're interested in seeing them, I'm really excited to show you. I did a video on this one that I called Joy, and I'll try to link it below if you want to see the inside of this one. But it's actually very similar to this one, which is probably about, I'm going to say 5 by 3.5 in size. It's a little purse size or bag size journal, and it's just got lots of special little embellishments, and so I'll take you through it to keep this from being too terribly long. First of all, I absolutely love this cotton eyelet lace trim or embroidered trim that was gifted to me, and I believe this was from Edwina Kinch. Hi Edwina, thank you so much. I've also seen some of this trim on work that was done by Mary Barrett, so just a beautiful trim. So I wanted to make that for my tie. And on the back, I left it kind of plain in case you do use it in a journal. I'll take this tag and show you. It's got a beautiful vintage lace here, and it's a pocket, so you could put something flat back there if you wanted to. Excuse me. And then the front is just got yummy little bits of things, little pink rosebud embroidered pieces. There's flat backs. This one has a pretty little flower in the middle. I love, love, love this image. I mentioned it in the first pink one that I showed you. It's framed, it's got layers of avocado dyed paper and eyelash trim, and then the scrapbook paper I used is this pretty vintage rose print that I just kind of distressed and tea dyed a little bit. And then this charm is really special to me because it was made by my sweet friend Shaz, so sorry, at Crafted Seasons, and it's paper beads. And she frosted them and gifted them to me in a little package. So I was really happy when I can, well, I'm always happy when I can incorporate some of the gifted pieces into my work. So inside we have this pretty little embossed envelope with lace trim. And it opens up to a couple of tags I just stitched around. And it can be used for journaling. I probably need to put them in one at a time. Get them back in there. There we go. And I have a lot of avocado dyed paper, but this one is pretty small, so I'll just go through it really quick. All the pages are similar in that I trim them with lace. I love this little envelope. It's a vellum envelope, but I cut it in half and made it smaller, and then decoupaged it with this pretty gold and pink tissue paper. And this is just a scrap piece that I wanted to use up, so I tucked it in there for journaling. Slips under that pretty little heart clip, and there's a little rayon seam binding, and this seam binding actually came off of a vintage little doll dress. And then in the back here I have a doily envelope, and it has 2 spaces, so you can tuck something behind it or in front of it. There's just this pretty little tag with some lace trim. And that embossed paper that I love, love, love. I'll be sad when I run out of it because it's got like pressed ferns and flowers. Music paper, a little glassine bag. I love decorating glassine bags and stitching them in. It's a tag that lives in there. Some graph paper. I love this tag. I really had fun making tags. This is the top of a packaging for fairy bling that I had purchased, and I saved it because it just looks so enchanting to me. It lives on there. And then this little page, I love this floral print. But if you know me, you know I really love vintage floral print, but I really like the tiny print, and this is Kaiser Craft scrapbook paper. And then I just punched little fleur-de-lis edging for the belly band. And a little rose print there. And I mentioned how I loved how Char Fisher put little tears of washi tape. And this gorgeous washi tape that was gifted to me from Ruby. Hi, Ruby. Some parchment paper. Love this tag. This is a double pocket as well. Let me get my tag out here. So the image I love on the cover, I printed onto parchment paper. I don't know if you can see that. Anyway, it makes for a pocket here. And then it flips open to the pink paper for journaling, and then at the top there's just some pretty fabric, and it also flips up in the back so you can journal. And then there's just some more parchment paper. Another pretty paper doily pocket, which has 3 sides glued down so you can tuck something behind it or in front of it. And this tag, I love just making it as pretty. It looks so regal to me with that rose print. And it flips open for journaling. And some more. This is some pretty, I think it's not handmade tatting, but it was some tatting trim that I found at a thrift store. A little tea-dyed corner pocket, tea-dyed index card with trim. Tucks down in there. It's actually a hidden pocket in here as well, so you could put stuff in the front or the back. Tea-dyed paper. So these are really useful because you can actually get a lot of journaling in these, as well as enjoy all the pretty little details. So I'm happy with how this one turned out, and I'm just gonna quickly wrap this one back up. And I like how they just kind of have a shabby little tie around them. And I'll probably make a bag for the ones that go in your purse, just so they don't get bumped around too much. My next one I'll show you has this beautiful tassel on the side. I call it Reflection, and it's got tons of vintage lace in this creamy buttery yellow color. It's not really yellow, it's more of a cream. But we can start on the back. And I've got this pretty eyelet lace trim, tying it closed, and then just loads of vintage trim and layered lace. This beautiful trim was gifted to me from Shirley Wilson. She made a card and gifted me several types of laces. Thank you, Shirley. It's really pretty. And then on the front there's this image of a gate leading into a garden, which I love. I don't know if that's actually from The Secret Garden or not, but I've kind of weathered it and added a little bit of Mod Podge to seal it. And then in the top there's this beautiful vintage trim. I don't know if I have much of that left, but I love that. And then it's a rayon seam binding bow with some eyelash trim and a little flower applique. And my tassel here just has streams of rayon seam binding. I call that a bumpy bead. Pearls. There's an iridescent bead I really like. So I just strung a few things for interest. There's a key on a bulb pin. And I found that minty green one. I don't know if you can tell that's green. Anyway, that was fun. So we'll go inside really quick. There's another little charm, tree charm on a bulb pen. And I just stitched an envelope here and tucked it under a belly band with some journaling cards. And they slide under there. This is a little emblem where you can write who the journal belongs to if you wanted to. I love that little rustic butterfly. And all of my pages pretty much have lace trim for reinforcement, but also for prettiness. These are fun little stickers. They look like they're crocheted, but they're actually stickers. It's a little doily that I put tea-dyed paper in for journaling. And they flip like that. A beautiful piece of vintage rose print paper that I copied and distressed a little bit, and then put a lace pocket and a couple of tags. It's a 12 print, and then this has these little fussy cut teacups. I don't know if you can tell, that one says I love you, and this one says forget me not, and then some more of that pretty rose print washi tape. I love making these tags. I was really having fun making these. So if you can tell, I probably still have glittery on my hands. I do. Anyway, here's some tea-dyed paper, music paper, dream of tomorrow. Another envelope that I really had fun making. And thank you to Mary Barrett. Hi, Mary. She sent me a fold out that had her information on her journal, her challenge entry, and I copied how she folded that because I just loved that. So thank you for that idea. It works great, and I just put a little bit of embellishment there. This is some distressed scrapbook paper that I sewed into a pocket. It flips open, and then I made a little concertina with some pretty rose print washi tape for journaling, and that lives in there. And believe it or not, this is an envelope that was gifted to me from Evie Foladu. Hello, Evie. You're saying this, and I used it in here. I love how you can put it, you know, just reinforce it onto the page and then journal behind it. So there's some more pages. I love these vintage paper doilies. This one got stained really dark, but I actually like the contrast. And then some lined scrapbook paper that I tore and distressed on the edges. This is just decorative. I ironed this on, so there's all kinds of different methods I used for embellishing, and I decided I'm not a big fan of the iron-on, but I wanted to try it. I love this card. The two kind of coordinate well, but it's a piece of stationery that just opens up. I stitched around it, and you can journal. A vellum piece. I just do that because I love how it sounds. But I love this ribbon. It's a linen or maybe canvas type ribbon. I think Shar Fisher may have wrapped some of her the prize winnings she mailed to me, I believe was from Shar. Hi Shar, thank you. This is some more of the embossed stationery, and I made it into a little journaling space with some rose embellishment. Flips up for journaling. Some really pretty vintage trim that I wove satin ribbon through. Space for journaling. And like I said, these are just loaded with space for journaling. Here's another tag I had fun making, and I did add some glossy accents to this one. Says love. Some damask scrapbook paper, a little weathered looking flower. This is a really old piece of lace that I'm told was made out of what they call tobacco twine, which they crocheted with a lot in the South. And here there were, and I think there still are, quite a few tobacco farms. So they called it tobacco twine. And then there's a pretty piece of vintage lace on the top. And it flips open for journaling, and there is a pretty floral tuck spot. And I had a bunch of ephemera that was gifted to me from Edwina Kench and Viv. Hi, Viv. Viv's a little bit crafty. I think she made this one for me. But I've been gifted so many beautiful pieces of ephemera and lace and trim, and I would never be able to remember everyone, but I'm just so grateful. I love this one. Reminds me of a shabby little nightgown or something that you'd wear back in the 1800s to bed. It's got a little white cotton tie on some eyelet lace border, and it flips open. For all your private thoughts, you can write here and cover it back up and tie it with my shabby little ribbon. I think that's a fun little technique. Some ruched rayon seam binding there. Another little corner pocket. Some random tags and scraps of paper with washi tape that live in there. And another parchment paper bag with a butterfly decoupaged on there. Journaling space. This is a fun layered little pocket that I made with some more of my mom's vintage wallpaper scraps, a little organza bag, and what's fun is you can tuck something behind it and in the bag. And I just like how you can see through it. And then just some sweet little trim on the top of this tag. And it lives in there. And then that is sewn onto some more parchment paper, and then the vellum here. This is a pretty little emblem I made out of some tatting and a fabric rose embellishment or image. This is some gorgeous lace that I trimmed the page with. I really do have sparkly all over me, don't I? There's some lined, more scrapbook paper, more vintage paper doily. Another glassine bag. I was given this really pretty embellishment envelope from Debbie at Crafty Stuff in her challenge entry, and I just love everything she put in there. It was gorgeous. It's a little journaling card. I like to put tea bags in these, but I love altering these glassine bags. I love how they sound. And then her little flower embellishment or journaling space. And then the back of that pretty rose print paper with a lace belly band. It's more of this pretty Kaiser Craft scrapbook paper. And this is just a little, small little journaling notebook. And then, I don't know if you can see, there's a rayon seam binding bow there. Some more of that torn washi tape. Floral doily again, paper doily that opens up and you can journal. And we're to the back where there is another piece of that card, which is a pocket and a satin ribbon rose and a pretty little tag. So another shabby chic journal for lots of journaling and reflection time, and a lot of fun to make. And I just like using these random pieces of lace to tie them shut because I think it makes them nice and shabby. So if you want, I have one more to show you if you have time. It's another with the buttery yellow and green. And like I said, I had a ball making these tags. And you know the magazine Daphne's Diary? Well, this one, you know how they always have little freebies, and I rarely use them, but I decided to start cutting some of them out. So I've got this one, this pretty little leaf pattern, and I embellished it with the crocheted rosebud trim and some lace. A little washi. And these colors are just some of my absolute favorites, so I thought that one would tuck in this one well somewhere. And then I've just got this lace trim that I think I just tied into a knot. Hold on one second. There we go. And this one, I'll try to go a little quicker, similar to the larger one in color. But again, I left the back flat, and I love, love, love this eyelet lace fabric. It's got the green and the white, which are two of my favorite colors, or cream, I should say. And again, it's just layered with lots of different types of textures. There's a little tatting, thin, delicate lace, some shimmery lace. I call it Dream. It has a little bulb pin with a key, and I crowned it with some of this pretty, pretty lace. There's a little lace bow here with some little eyelash trim and satin ribbon, and the spine has just a strip of this embroidered rosebud trim. This trim came from a skirt where I have hordes of this, and I just love tucking it in on certain projects. So you'll see that again, and then you can just, there's layers and layers to peek at and look at and enjoy. This is some real pretty doilies. Now I made this on chipboard. It's kind of stiff, but it's very durable. This is a pretty little clip that I made on a paper clip. It just slides off, as you can see, and then it opens up into a journaling card. And so I can get that back on smoothly. There we go. And that lives on there. And so you'll see it's just a bunch of stationery, tea-dyed stationery. These are vintage stickers that when I got them home I didn't realize they were shiny. So I tried to matte it down a little bit with chalk paint. It worked some. But again, it's just a perfect little size for journaling. And I used some Tim Holtz tissue paper and I distressed it a little bit. And some of the pages I reinforced with lace. Another altered glassine bag with some tags inside. This tag has a little bit of butcher twine and a key. And I have like a folder of ephemera that I created, and then I don't always use the tags, so I tucked this one in, or pulled that one from my stash. I do love decorating these bags. This is a little music note card with some decoupage napkin, reinforced it a little bit with some pretty washi tape. I love this ruffled paper. Thank you, Viv. Viv from A Little Bit Crafty made me strips of this beautiful embroidered ruffled paper. I was happy to get to use some of that. And there's some ruched and ruffled lace trim there. A pretty pocket here with some lace for the pocket. This is some beautiful wallpaper that I got from my mom's wallpaper crafting stash, and I literally think we used some of these as children crafting in all of her stuff, because she used to have so much fun crafting things for us to rumble through and play with, and I was so happy to get my hands on that. Now, of course, this tucked in here so smooth and beautiful when I was going through it before. Now it's being stubborn. Okay, it's in. But it's backwards. I don't want it backwards. I want it the way it's supposed to go. There we go. It says today, and we can just journal on this pretty card. Oh, then there's this lace trim, more washi tape. Pretty envelope that I fussy cut some flowers out of, and the tag lives in there. Some pretty lace trim. Another glassine bag with this fun little notepad, little tablet. I don't know what you want to call it, but I love that trim, and it opens up. And there's quite a few little pieces of paper for your journal on. And I just stitched it in there. But that works really well. And lives in there. And thank you to Debbie from Crafty Stuff. She had sent me an envelope with some beautiful embellishments. That's one of them. Hi, Debbie. Some tea-dyed paper. More decorated edged tea-dyed paper. And if I haven't already told you, I used an old sketchbook that I got from a thrift store and cut the pages out because it's a really good quality paper, and it tea-dyed beautifully, and it also has such a wonderful surface. And like I said, I like to tuck little tea bags in these glassine bags, so there's one in there. And this is another one of those shiny stickers, and I love the image. I just wish it weren't so shiny. Oh, I did stick this one all the way down. More tea-dyed paper. Another envelope with some tags inside, as you can see. I love this envelope. I made this with some paper doily, tea-dyed doily. And then some more of this napkin. My sister gifted me this one napkin. Well, she gave me several, but this was one that I absolutely loved. So I've been putting bits and pieces of it on different pieces of ephemera. And this is a double pocket, so you can put something in the front there and then in the back. And I literally just did that because I love the sound of ruffling through to get the tags out. So there's more of the tea-dyed parchment paper on the back. And more of the distressed Tim Holtz tissue paper that I decoupaged on. Some more of the ruffled paper trim. Here's a pretty little notebook that I distressed, and it's got an angel or cherub on avocado dyed paper, and then just several pieces of tea dyed paper to make a little notebook. It's a little tag, and it lives in there. Get that back in there. I'll do that later. The middle of the second signature here. This is just decorative. Some more decoupaged napkin, tea-dyed paper. This is a fun little flip. It's a decoupaged piece of that damask scrapbook paper, and it flips open for journaling. It's a little tag in there, and it just tucks back under there. And some more embellishment here. The other side of the envelope, you could tuck a little note behind. I like that trim on this page. And then I was inking something that clearly had dots, and it left two little dots there, but it kind of lends itself to the nature of a junk journal, so I was okay with that. And then this back pocket is a gorgeous piece of lace that I got off of a blouse, and I left it rough, unfinished edge, and just tucked a couple journaling cards in there. So that's the back, and I think that's all. I just really was excited to come and show you what's been keeping me busy for the last few days. It's back to reality next week. School and work are back in session. And it's okay. I think I'm really actually looking forward to starting the new year with some new goals and ideas. But they will definitely include crafting because it has just been so much fun. And I've thoroughly enjoyed meeting so many of you and being able to call you my crafting friends. I think I'm going to list these in my Etsy shop, but if you're interested in one of them, please email me. I'll be glad to tell you more about them. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you'll have time in the new year to do a lot of crafting. I hope to do some challenges, and I'll space my time a little better this year. I got myself a little in over my head last year, though I did complete all but one. I was able to get all of my challenges done, even in all of the distress of the year. It's a blessing to see a new year come in, and I wish you all the best, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. Have a happy day.